because we're getting to the main bit of the day today, really. The bit that has my soul, transport. Who's excited? Who's buzzing? There you go, you see, transport's where it's at. Decarbonising heat is very, very important. However, we've all got to move. So, this is a session around accelerating the transition towards net zero transport, infrastructure, and mobility. For the second year in a row, it gives me enormous pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker around transport, Fiona Hyslop, Cabinet Secretary for Transport in the Scottish Government, to give us some certainty around the future, hopefully. Fiona, all yours.
So good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for the invitation to speak with you today. And let me begin by thanking all of you here, leaders from public bodies and private companies, academics, innovators, and community representatives. Your presence reflects your deep commitment to shaping Scotland's journey to net zero, and I want to acknowledge the hard work and leadership you continue to show. The Scottish Government's commitment to tackling the climate emergency has not wavered. We know the science is irrefutable. We know the window for meaningful action is narrowing and that collaboration between our organisations is necessary to meet the challenge. In recent months, we've seen a weakening of political consensus within the UK and around the world about the value of getting to net zero, a troubling development, and one that has understandably caused concern among investors, communities, and campaigners. But today, I want to give you a clear and unambiguous message. In Scotland, our resolve has not diminished. If anything, it has strengthened. We remain steadfast in our climate ambition, and we remain committed to providing the clarity, confidence, and long-term vision that organisations need to invest in the net zero future. Because we know that investment thrives in certainty. And we know that your efforts, whether in the private or public sector, are shaped by the signals we as government send. So let me say again, the path to net zero is the path we are on, and we will stay on it. Even in a volatile global investment landscape marked by inflationary pressures, geopolitical unrest, and market unpredictability, we are determined to be a stable and reliable partner. We want Scotland to be a beacon of certainty in uncertain times, a place where innovative businesses and organisations can plan with confidence, knowing that the transition to net zero is not only necessary, but inevitable. Nowhere is that transition more visible and more urgently needed than in our transport system. Transport accounts for over a quarter of Scotland's greenhouse gas emissions, and so the way we move people and goods must change, and it must change fast. That is why I want to highlight some of the important work already underway, work that reflects not just policy, but genuine partnership and innovation in the road sector specifically. First, I want to emphasise the importance of the vehicle emissions trading schemes, which is jointly delivered by all of the governments across the UK. This legislation has the potential to support a fair and effective route to emissions reduction. It is vital that this mechanism is ambitious and targeted, and we will continue to ensure it delivers for Scotland and that we maximise its efforts by working in partnership with other stakeholders. We can see the partnership in the work being delivered by local authorities across the country, many of whom have been preparing diligently for the expansion of electric vehicle infrastructure. We're supporting that work through our £30 million Electric Vehicle Infrastructure Fund. Now, this fund represents a bold and strategic investment in the future of clean transport, leveraging an equal amount of funding from the private sector. So thanks to the preparatory work of local authorities, we can look forward to the commencement of many procurements by local authorities this year using innovative business models that we will ensure we build a robust, accessible and future-proofed public charging network. To date, we have already announced over £7 million for collaboration across the north of Scotland, between Highland, Moray, Aberdeen City and Aberdeenshire councils, £3 million for the 3 Ayrshire councils, £3.5 million for the Glasgow City region, £1.9 million for a partnership across Perth and Kinross and Angus councils, and £300,000 of funding for a project targeting on-street charging in Dundee. Now, this funding awarded to date is expected to deliver over 4,400 additional public charge points delivered in partnership with public charge point operators. And I expect to announce funding for the remaining local authorities over the next few months, which will increase that number even further. Thank you. Innovation, of course, doesn't just happen at national scale. It happens at the level of the household too. And I want to give special recognition to ScotZEB, the Society of Chief Officers of Transportation in Scotland, for their pioneering work on cross-pavement charging solutions. Work by ScotZEB to develop guidance will support those without access to driveways to charge their vehicles near their homes. We're seeing the private sector bring forward innovative technological solutions to this challenge, and we welcome the efforts of those involved to enable such solutions to reach consumers. Of course, we know that the affordability of running electric vehicles is still a major concern for many households, and that is why I continue to call on the UK government to remove VAT from public EV charge points. This is a simple, practical step that would make the transition to electric vehicles more affordable for thousands of families. It is long overdue. But the story of net zero transport in Scotland is not only about cars and charging points. I want to take a moment to recognise the outstanding innovation happening in our heavy vehicle sector, particularly in the decarbonisation of buses and development of shared charging infrastructure being made through the ScotZEB 2 project. This initiative features a consortium of operators led by the energy company Zenobē, investing more than £130 million of private sector funding alongside £41 million from the Scottish Government. Now, I was delighted to be in Dundee earlier this month to celebrate the latest delivery of electric buses at Explore Dundee as part of the project. And this initiative delivers not just zero-emission vehicles, but the infrastructure needed to support them. And the shared infrastructure opens up opportunities beyond the bus and coach industry. It offers a route to decarbonising other public and private sector fleets through collaboration by creating hubs that serve multiple users and sectors. And looking beyond road transport emissions, the transition to net zero transport is also about changing our communities, adapting to new challenges and seizing new opportunities. Our draft Just Transition Plan for Transport sets out a vision where the costs and benefits of net zero are shared across all our communities. At the end of last year, we commenced procurement on more energy efficient high-speed trains, supporting over 4 million annual passengers on intercity trains between our key cities while continuing to decarbonise transport. This year, we are completing the East Kilbride Electrification and Enhancement Project, an investment of £140 million, which is due to finish in December 2025. And Scotland's workforce must also be supported and empowered through the transition, where jobs are not lost but transformed. Our modelling shows that the overall size of the workforce is likely to remain stable, but the skills required will evolve. That means we can't be complacent. We all need to step up to help with this evolution, because we need people to be equipped with the right skills for new technologies. And that's why I want to recognise the incredible work of the Energy Skills Partnership in Scotland's colleges. Just last year, we saw new training rigs for EV charging deployed in institutions across the country, funded by the Scottish Government, helping equip the next generation of workers with vital zero-emission vehicle expertise. And I'm delighted that this programme will continue to evolve over the coming year. We will be reinforcing this work by making available a further £400,000 this year for stakeholders from across industry and other sectors to develop pilot projects and skills relating to heavy-duty vehicles. And these will cover technical skills while also addressing issues such as diversity in the workforce, covering challenges that stakeholders have told us are important to them in the transition to net zero. So these efforts are laying the groundwork for a skilled, inclusive and future-ready transport workforce. I urge all of you to contribute your views to the ongoing consultation on the draft Just Transition Plan on Transport, which is open until the 19th of May. So your input will help shape our next steps, and it's vital that we hear from you. Later this year, we will also begin on our new climate change plan, our roadmap to 2045. It will be guided by science, driven by innovation, and shaped by partnerships across every part of our economy and society. It will demonstrate our continued commitment to getting to net zero, describing the next steps that we as a government will take alongside the collective effort we will all need to make to bring about the transition in a fair and positive way. So in conclusion, let me return to the big picture. We are in the decisive decade for climate action. The decisions we collectively take now on infrastructure, on vehicles, on skills, will shape our country for generations to come. And as the world continues to move to a net zero future, we have an opportunity to be at the forefront of that change. And to seize that opportunity, everyone must step up to the challenge, working together across sectors, across political divides, and across communities. Collaboration is not optional, it is essential. So let us approach this work not with hesitation, but with ambition. Let us continue to innovate, to invest, and to lead. Let us make Scotland not only a country that meets its climate targets, but one that does so in a way that delivers fairness, prosperity, and hope. So thank you again for your commitment, your partnership, and your leadership. Thank you.